In this video, we are going to be configuring filters so they can work across multiple pages in the My Library report. The benefits of having filters across pages is you've got more space on any page for your visuals, and you've got one place to control all the filters within your report. So in this video, we're going to be configuring and building filters across the pages in your report. From the perspective of the Power BI report creation stages, we're working in the build report stage. So let's move on to the exercise and start building. I'm in the My Library report, and I'm going to bring a filter onto the page. I'm going to select on some space on the page here, and then select the slicer. I'm going to resize the slicer. And I'm going to bring in the school year hierarchy. In this case, I'd like to make it so that you can only select a single year, and I'm going to select the formatting for the visual, slicer settings, then go to the selection, and then select single select. And now it's only possible for us to select a single year. I'm now going to bring another filter onto the screen, and this is going to be one where we look at the student full name. Select on the screen, and then the slicer. I'm going to make this smaller. I'm going to move it across to the right. And in the data, I'm going to type in full. I'm going to drag full name into the field. Now I've done this, I'm going to go to the slicer settings, and I'm going to go to the selection, show the select all, and then deselect the multi-select with control. We now have a filter that allows us to select all, and we can just select single items if we wish. And if we want to select all again, we can just select all and pop it in twice. Now we will be able to see all of our students. At this point in time, the filtering has no impact on the other pages. If I select Yuki Sato, and if I go to the students review, I can see all of the students. The way to change this is to go to the filters, view, sync slicers, and then select on one of our slicers. If we select the refresh option on current loans and on students review, and then go on to the current loans, we'll see that we now have a filter, but we don't want to see that filter. So let's go back onto the filters, select on the filter, and then we're going to deselect the visibility. Select here and select on the students review. If I now select on students review, I'll only be able to see the loans by Yuki Sato. Similarly, if I go onto the current loans, the same thing is true. And whilst it's possible that Yuki doesn't have any loans, it's also possible that those loans aren't overdue. So let's change this filter that's on the screen. Yuki currently has Macbeth out on loan, and it's due back on the 25th of January. Let's go back onto the students review. I'm going to select on the total loans by school year visual. And I'm going to change it and make it a bar and line chart. And onto the line, I'm going to bring in the percentage change year on year. Let's go back onto the filters and choose a different student. Let's choose Sophia Rossi. Look at the students review. And it's still saying Yuki Sato. And the reason for this is if we select on the filters and select on the filter we're interested in, we need to make sure we actually have the refresh on the filters page. If we do this and then select on students review, we get to see Sophia Rossi. Let's now ensure that the date filter also works. Select filters, select school year and then month filter, and we're going to select the filters, current loans, and the students review, and we'll also deselect the visibility on current loans and on the students review. Let's now select the students review. And we can see that in 2024, Sophia Rossi took out 10 loans, and that's a reduction of 66.7% from the previous year. And if we select on the matrix visual, we can take a look at the total loans last year, and we can drag it onto the screen. Last year there were 30 loans, and now there are 10 loans this year. The change year on year was 20. And so therefore we have a percentage change of minus 66.7%. Let's go back to the filters and look at a different year. I'm going to select 2023, and I'm going to take a look at the current loans. There are no loans for Sophia Rossi that have been taken out in 2023. But the purpose of this page is to show all of the books currently out on loan. So I'm going to change the relationship. Select filters, select on the filter for the school year and month, and then I'm going to deselect the relationship there for the current loans. I'm also going to make sure that it's not visible. And now if I select on current loans, we see that Sophia Rossi still doesn't have any loans outstanding. But I know from my model drone app, we have one loan for Sophia Rossi that is outstanding. So what's happening here? Let's go back onto the filters. We're going to select the year filter, and then we'll make sure that the filter is now visible. Let's go onto the current loans page, and we can see that this filter is visible, but it's showing 2023, and this is incorrect. I'm going to select the visual for the filter and then press delete. And we can now see the one book that Sophia Rossi has out on loan at the moment. Let's now go back onto the filters page. I'm going to select all of my students, and then select the school year 2023, and then go on to the students review. With my bar and line chart, I'm going to select that, and I'm actually going to go down to the next level in the hierarchy. And it's telling us just how much it's changed year on year according to the month. I can change this a little bit though. I can change the axis for where the 0% lies. Move on to the formatting, look at the secondary axis, and I can select align zeros. If I don't want to see the labels for one of the series, I can select the apply series to under the data labels, select the drop down, and select percentage change year on year, and I can deselect that. That will mean it will disappear. And now when I'm investigating what's happened with the book loans, I can select on one of my students and the visuals will all change. And we've retained space on this page because we have our filters on a different screen. This brings us to the end of this video on configuring filters across pages in your library report. I hope you found it very interesting, and I'll see you in the next lesson.